About 2 weeks ago, my buddy Nathan said, you know what, I'm gonna listen to every single remix that has been submitted to the Disciple Biggest Remix Contest of all time, number 2. And I was like, you know what? Me too. Yesterday, I finished listening to all 1,667 submissions on SoundCloud. And then I decided, I guess I should make a video out of this. Hey everybody, my name is Duality, the only Pixel 19 here, and welcome back to another video. Last year, Disciple hosted their very first biggest remix contest of all time, where you were able to remix one of about 17 tracks out of their Disciple roster. The main core elements, you're allowed to submit as many remixes as many times for as many different songs. The artist of each track will pick the winning remix for that song, and then all of the remixes will be compiled into a winning remix compilation. This year they decided to do it again with another 17 tracks, and I felt like it had been a while since I put together a YouTube video where I exercised my ear muscles. I actually posted a teaser on my Twitter about a couple weeks ago, which, by the way, thank you guys for 1,000 followers. I was literally stuck under like 1,000 followers for almost a year, so it's really nice to finally hit that 4-digit mark. I posted a teaser on a discography video that I'm working on. However, it is not this video that I'm going to be talking about that discography, but it will be coming soon. As you guys probably recall from the previous videos that I uploaded about a week or so ago, I was part of a large mega collaborative remix of the track We Don't Play by Disciple with the Rushdown team. This year, I've been a lot more actively involved with the remix contest, and so I decided, since I'm so invested, you know, I might as well just go full in. In the title, I probably say that in this video, you guys will hear firsthand what the winning remixes are. No, that is a lie. I'm clickbaiting. No, don't leave the video yet though. I put together a playlist of my favorite tracks, but I will talk more about it later on who the remixes I think are either gonna win or that are my favorite. Right off the bat, I just want to talk about my thoughts on the contest as a whole. Personally, I'm a huge fan of the whole concept of this mega remix contest. It allows artists the ability to dust off their skills and to showcase their style. This year, there are a ton of prizes, upwards of nearly thousands of dollars in worth. If I recall last year, the only prizes were a Zoom call with the artist of the remix that you won, and as well as getting signed to Disciple in this remix compilation. This year, however, every single person who wins will be receiving merch, they will be signed to the compilation, and if you are one of the top 3 best remixes, you will be able to get thousands of dollars worth of prizes in plugins, hardware, software, etc. So there's a lot at stake in this contest. In case Disciple people are watching, I want to throw this down on the table right now. You guys waited way too long to put an official portal to submit the remix. In the contest last year and this year, the way you submitted a remix was by posting your remix onto SoundCloud or Twitter or YouTube and tagging hashtag Disciple Remix Comp and then 2 or 1 or whatever the hashtag was last year. The entire idea behind this remix contest is that it is a giant marketing campaign. In the rules last year and this year, the whole idea of the remix contest is that your remix needs to be shared around. You gotta tag the artist that you're remixing. You want the remix to get plays, you want it to get noticed. Even though they put in the rules that their artists will be listening to every single remix without any form of official portal or forum where one can submit the remixes, there's no way to guarantee that. The 1,667 number that I got was through Nathan and I, or Silver Skies and I, compiling every single remix that we could find. And this is on SoundCloud alone. At least through SoundCloud, you can sort remixes by hashtag. The thing is though, even though there's an option to sort by latest, the remixes are not in chronological order. Unless we were refreshing constantly since the very beginning of the contest, there is no way that we could guarantee that we got every single remix. And I'm willing to bet that we didn't. 2 of my favorite remixes in this contest did not have the Disciple hashtag, which meant they are not eligible. Now, of course, one could definitely say, well, that's their fault, they didn't put the hashtag. And that's completely true. But just because they did put the hashtag wouldn't have meant that the remix was guaranteed to have been listened to either. Apparently there were thousands of remixes submitted to the last contest. I cannot verify that and I'm not gonna count manually. But it's just such a logistical nightmare to imagine having to compile all the remixes without some sort of official section to submit it to. A lot of people mentioned that the Facebook group, the Disciple Facebook group, was the best way to get eyes on it But even then, how is one supposed to guarantee that the remix will be seen? I think one of the beauties of remix contests is that you have the chance to find underground talent from people with barely any plays. Some of my favorite remixes that I believe have a shot of winning have less than 300 plays. But just because I found the remix does not mean that someone at Disciple might find it. It wasn't until the contest ended this year where they decided, hey, this is kind of a logistical nightmare. Can you please resubmit to the Google form to ensure that we see it? That is already scary to me. I feel like there's a ton of people who probably made banger remixes that did not see that because it was only posted to their Facebook group and their Discord server. Outside of those two forums, the contest is also heavily promoted on their Twitter, which I did not see anything regarding a Google form there. And overall, it didn't really feel like the integrity was being held to put all the remixes on an equal playing field. If I decided to make a remix, I'm pretty comfortable with the fact that I'm pretty sure somebody would see it. And in the case of the Rushdown Mega collaboration, it was literally impossible to not know about it. The Rushdown collaboration probably has the most plays out of any remix submission this year, but obviously not every person submitting to the contest has that sort of comfort or that backing. But to a certain degree, it's almost kind of expected. In the rules, they do say that anyone can submit, including the likes of Daft Punk and Skrillex. I'm not gonna say they shouldn't be allowed to join. Honestly, I would be pretty excited if one of those two artists actually made a remix for the contest. That said, it does feel a bit slightly disingenuous to say that you will listen to all the remixes when I said, logistically speaking, that isn't gonna happen just by asking people to put a hashtag and saying, yeah, I'll find it later. Now, at least with the Google form, that is an official portal where you guys will have a list of every single submission. I wish you guys did that at the beginning of the contest, but I guess better late than never. Now, for anybody who submitted to the remix contest and didn't submit to the form, you are not disqualified. On the form, it says if you submit to the form, it will simply just be an official counting of your submission. They probably already have seen your submission, but just in case they haven't, submit to this form. So if you didn't submit to the form, you're not eliminated, you're not suddenly disqualified or whatever. That said, like I said at the beginning, I wish it was something that they talked about earlier. I will also say one more thing is that their Disciple Facebook group is the main platform that they promoted last year and this year when it came to submitting remixes. This year, 1 week before the deadline, they were still approving remixes being posted to their Facebook group from like a month and a half ago. I can only imagine the massive backlog that the Facebook moderators had to go through, and it wouldn't even surprise me if this far out from the deadline, they're still approving posts of remixes. As a fan of Disciple, as a producer, remixer, YouTube content creator, whatever, all I hope is that if they decide to do a massive remix contest to this scale, that they have an official portal to submit to at the beginning of the contest. And if they still want to keep up with their marketing campaign, just say, hey, listen, post it onto SoundCloud, post it onto YouTube, use the hashtag, and then submit the link of that remix to the Google form. That's it. You get your promotion, we get our official comfort in knowing that our remix has been submitted, and everyone's happy. All right, let's talk about numbers. This year, there were 1,667 remix submissions that we counted on SoundCloud alone. Because of the decentralized nature of where submissions officially counted, there's more than likely more remix submissions that are out there that we just didn't account for. Not only on SoundCloud, but on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook group, etc. So, for the sake of this video, we are only going over SoundCloud submissions. 1,667 tracks among 17 potential tracks means that every track could have averaged around 98 submissions. It is kind of funny the discrepancy in submissions between different songs, and this is even a detail that is acknowledged in the rules. Underneath potential tips and strategy guide, I guess, for lack of better words, they even recommend remixing songs of lesser popular artists for a better opportunity at winning. So for example, remixing the likes of Dirtyphonics, Terravita, or MVRDA as opposed to Virtual Riot and Barely Alive. The song with the least submissions goes to Disciple's We Don't Play. Personally, I'm not surprised by that. I do feel like there are a number of factors that come into play. There are two that come to mind. The first one is that each winning remix is judged by the artist of that remix, which means Dirtyphonics will be choosing the winner for their Gasoline remix, Samplifire will be choosing the winner for their Cigarette remix, and so on. So to put the weight of choosing a winner by the entirety of of Disciple for the Disciple We Don't Play remix, I can imagine that might be a bit overwhelming of a concept for people to want to submit to that. The second main detail is that when it comes to stems, they only supplied an acapella. That's it. In the Rushdown Mega collab that we worked on, we sampled a couple sections from the original track, but aside from that, you're essentially producing an entire instrumental to slap a Virus Syndicate acapella on top of. The track with the least remix submissions that isn't Disciple was MVRDA, totaling in at 44 remix submissions. The artist with the most remix submissions, and probably not that surprising, is Virtual Riots and Mode Steps This Could Be Us featuring Frank Zumo with 218 submissions. I'm gonna put a chart on the screen really quickly over here. You guys can see the number of submissions, and then beside it, the percentage chance you have of winning if a winner was chosen completely at random. Now, obviously, there's a lot of factors that go into this. Number one, did Disciple even find your remix? Number two, was your remix even good? Those are the main two, I guess. If you guys want to talk in matters of percentages, here's a little pie graph over here. You guys can see that the Virtual Riot and Mode Step track had 13.1% of all the submissions, along with Barely Alive and Niptane's track having 11.2% of the submissions, while Disciples We Don't Play had 2.2% and Cockney Cartel by MVRDA had 2.6% of the submissions. When it comes to my listening experience, listening to every single track that I could find that was submitted to the remix contest, it was a lot more different than the labeled marathons that I participated in the past, which if you guys are interested in watching, you guys can see on screen here a couple of the videos that I've made where I marathoned the entire discography. This is the most amount of tracks that I have ever listened to in a session. Going through each submission by song, I started with the tracks that had less submissions and then slowly working my way up to the very big ones at the end. When I do my label discographies, I try to give as much of an opportunity for the song to shine. So while I might not enjoy a song, I usually listen up until at least the entire intro, the drop, and then midsection. And then if I like it, I keep listening to it or I skip. In the case of this remix contest, out of the sheer volume of them, once you know a remix isn't good, there isn't really a reason to stick around. And so at certain points, I was averaging about 5 seconds of song. Skipping through, does that sound good? No, skip. At the end of the day, as much as I want to give a fair listen to every single submission, A, it's not realistic on my part. B, I'm telling you right now, Disciple's not going to listen to every single submission in full. And C, like I said, I've kind of been doing this for long enough. You can tell when a remix is not going to win. The way I kind of went through this entire process is I would listen to every single remix. I came up with a list of remixes that I liked, and then from there, slowly eliminated until I essentially had my top batch of songs, and then from there, chose my favorite. I'm gonna show the list at the end of this little segment, but as I kind of teased in the title, I put together a list of my favorite remixes from every single song, / the remixes that I think have the best opportunity of winning. A, if it's popular, Disciple is probably aware of it. B, if it's popular and good, it already has a really good shot at winning. That said, I tried to ignore popularity on every possible scale because I wanted to put a list that I felt was the most organic to my own personal music taste / what I think Disciple might be looking for. I'm gonna reveal my list, speaking out the name of my favorite remix and then putting on the side my favorite runner-up potentials. For Sleepwalking, I put Siren Seol. For Electric Lady, I put Enum_. For Knock Knock, I put RY3 or Rye. For Gasoline, I put Cosmos. There's no way for me to say this with a straight face, but luckily you guys can't tell that I'm smiling. For Disciples We Don't Play, I put Rushdown. For Mistakes, I put Everin Maxwell. For Get Real, I put Yockside and Doyle. For Tear It Up, I put KYB. For Time Machine, I put Antima. For Rewind, I put Zeph Parisoto. Sorry if I destroyed your name. For Cockney Cartel, I put Ipsium. For Hoodem, I put Colossal. For Hanging by a Thread, I put Everin Maxwell again. For Battle of the Bros, I put Nosphere and JKYL and Hyde. I know I destroyed that name, and if you see this, I'm so sorry. For Sigurd, I put Tatsuki. For Murder Style, I put Corva. And for This Could Be Us, I put Xphere. In the description, I'm going to be putting a link to a private playlist where you guys can listen to all of my favorite remixes as well as all of the runner-ups. The first 17 songs in the playlist are the ones that I believe have the best shot at winning, and then underneath are all of the runner-ups in order of alphabetical order, as well as alphabetical order of track. However, if you guys don't want to listen to any of the songs in the playlist, I'll also be putting out a mix of most of my favorite remixes and posting it on SoundCloud and YouTube later this week. So if that's something you guys are interested in, be sure to follow and check it out in the coming time. You know, yeah, I gotta cash in on that YouTube algorithm, what can I say? But yeah, this was a very fun challenge. Part of the inspiration from this video was actually a lot of people live reacting to the Rushdown remix, which I'm really glad to see that all of you guys have been really enjoying. While I don't feel like I could ever become a music reviewer or ranker or critique, I do feel like my marathon styled videos with all of these stats and thoughts in general are definitely more of my reviewing niche, even though they take a lot more time to put together. So if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to comment. I definitely want to hear what remixes you guys think will win, and maybe some of the names that are not mentioned in my list that you guys think are the best. Because I'm telling you right now, there are so many remixes that did not make it to my runners-up that I really enjoyed. My end goal was just to be able to take a single screenshot, and so I had to take out a bunch of remixes from some tracks, but if you did make it into my top list, I wish you guys the best. I wish everyone who participated good luck. And if you don't win, there were a ton of really great remixes. Hopefully you guys picked up some stuff along the way as a learning experience for potentially a future contest. Anyways, I guess that's all from me. If I manage to guess every single remix correctly, I will face reveal. And if I don't, I don't know, I don't. Like, you guys really think I'm gonna get them all right? Apparently I have this % of a chance of guessing all the remixes right. I don't think that's gonna happen. But hey, maybe I'm wrong, who knows? Thanks for sticking around, and yeah, hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.